Good morning. We are going to do a coffee and tarot this morning. For those who are not aware, coffee and tarot is when we get to sit down, have a conversation with spirit, and spirit gets to lead. So we don't come in to the conversation with any kind of preconceived notions, parameters, time frames, any specific intentions. It's spirit's chance to come and sit down and take the lead, right? So we're game for whatever spirit wants to tell us. It can be predictive. It could be let's have a conversation about some shit, like shadow work, aspects of the self. Could be a warning. Could be a celebration. I don't know. I don't know. But when we come to the table for this, we come expecting to sit, okay, and listen and let it take as long as it needs to. So if you're one of the ones that's like, I need a 10-minute read, that's not this. Okay. With that being said, go ahead and get your matcha, your lemon water, your coffee, whatever you want. Settle into a comfortable spot. We'll go ahead and dig in. Friendly reminder, if you're sticking around, you're a sovereign being. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. So my suggestion is not to Cinderella shit, to make it fit. Okay? Okay. I played around with, I do have to invest in a new software. I will say that much. I like to use free versions of stuff, but what I'm using, the software for my camera will not let my camera record as crisp and beautiful as it can. I'm aware, guys. I'm aware. And I know that sometimes the light from my window washes me out. We're just gonna deal with it. Everything looks blurry. I can't fix that because the software gives me basics. I can't even access everything on my camera, what it's capable of, because they took the software for the camera away. So here's the thing: we're just gonna deal with it. Um, I do not like to do readings without the light. Well, I do some in the evenings, but like it's my most favorite thing. It brings me to life. I used to have my everything over there, and I didn't hate it, but oh my god. Anyways, so we're gonna deal. I understand that I'm so white that the glare is like. You don't have to look at me. You can just listen, okay? But until I get everything fixed and worked out, this is what you get. Okay, nice and early this morning. Well, it's not too early. It's 9 o'clock. So, sometimes I get on at 7 and record. So I guess I should reel that one back in. I don't know why I went on a tangent like that. I mean, I kind of do and I kind of don't. Anyways, one more announcement. One of my beautiful, faithful, lovely little peeps that that has been with me from the beginning of this channel um, has a little one that had a birthday. I cannot remember the date, but I know that I was like wrapped up in what was going on with my son when he was in the hospital and everything else like that, and I probably missed it. I know I missed it because the birthday was in June and we're now in July. But I want to give a shout out to my little man. He turned 2. I hope Kelsey's getting this. He's been with me since he was in the womb. And when he was a little baby, she'd have me playing in the background, and he would perk up because he knew my voice. And I'm aiming to meet this little man in person one day because I'm auntie. Okay, I'm auntie. I'm honorary auntie. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. He had a birthday. He is now 2 years old. I'm not going to give. I can't give away a child's name on here without mom and dad's permission. So I won't do that. But I can shout out Kelsey and just give him snuggles for me. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and dig in. I had some heart flutters, like what felt like heart flutters, like you know what I mean, as I was getting on, and then I burned myself because I was lighting something. I burned myself just from touching the tip of this, like something got real hot. Um, but it's kind of the burn that doesn't deter you. You're like, I just waited a second and kept going. I was like, and I got like, something's real hot because now I'm starting to get it here, and I keep it cold in my house. Well, not too cold, I guess. I keep it cold because the upstairs gets really freaking hot because the air conditioning's in the way that whatever, right? It's not because I'm hot. It's because my children get hot upstairs, and so I have to pump the shit. And so downstairs is freezing. Um, okay, so something's really hot enough to kind of burn you, but it doesn't deter you. Okay. I mean, I wanna hold back on thinking this is something magical, kind of thing, because like there's a lot of things that can be like some like a certain area that you work in could be popping off right now. Like things are real hot and it's time for you to get in the game. I don't but there's that. And then there's like heart palpitations. I mean, it could go either way. And it's not like a heartbeat, it's like a kind of feeling. It was yeah. Nose itching, so I'm on part. So that is gonna be part of the message. Okay, so let's just dig in and figure out what's going on. Let's get some specifics. Funny thing is, I've got Madame Medora's fortune telling deck highlighting for me, and I'm over here questioning if it's gonna give me the detail I want. Somebody may be looking for information. Um, you may be guided to look in a particular area, but you feel like you're not getting the information you want. But let's see. Let's see what we can get. Like you may be able to garner enough. So you might be guided to look in a particular area or to pay attention to something. And you're kind of like questioning why. Like, what am I going to get out of this? My nose is, oh, okay. So we on. It's on. My Donkey Kong. That might be for somebody. Okay, let's get going. For those who are like hoping it wasn't true, and I was like, I don't know, it could be something else. Love. It literally says just love. Well, it says true love and fidelity. Oh, my nose. Okay, babe. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. Is this for the singles? Is this for the couples? What's going on? Be meticulous and patient. My nose was not itching. One iota before I got on. Like it is killing me. It's itching in a spot I've never had it itching before. Okay. All right. So we've got true love and fidelity. We've got being meticulous and patient. Why am I getting meticulous? They want me to look up the definition. They do that sometimes. That's why I keep my freaking phone right here. Bright new prospects are on the horizon. Why do I get like really excited at this one? It makes no sense. Your secrets are safe. Ooh. Ooh. I think this is whoever I'm reading for. Your secrets are safe, but not like, ooh, nobody can know this. I've got bad stuff to know. Right? I feel like this has something to do with looking in a particular area for information, like observing something, seeing something. But I also feel like this is the at the end of something. Book ending this is love and your secrets are safe. Okay, so this is kind of like having a person that you can be very vulnerable, honest, and they're trustworthy. Like this isn't something where things are used against you. So walls can come down. I'm also getting something about nobody will know what you don't give them. So it's kind of like if this is something you want to keep to yourself for a little bit, then you'll be like, you can kind of keep it to yourself for a while. Secrets are safe. But they're also giving me like you can really reveal some things. What do you want to reveal? I don't know if we want to reveal. Like letting your guard down and I don't know why I feel like there may be aspects there might be aspects in your life that you're like, I don't like discussing these things with anybody. I don't want anybody's input. I don't want anybody's influence. I don't want, that kind of stuff. One, it's perfectly okay because I feel like the way there's an individual here. The way this individual interacts with you on this probably will make you feel the safest you've ever been. This is not they are not everybody else. Two, I get the sense that somebody's not going to try and dig. You know what I'm saying? Like some people will like it's a little shady when people dig too much. You're like, why do you want to know so fucking bad? Right? But something also tells me like your inhibitions are going to like your walls drop and your mouth runs out. And so things might be revealed unintentionally. And like it's you discover that it's really safe. Okay, my nose. Okay, so that's it going. That's where we're heading. Why do I feel like other people try to make you feel like something is ugly or like you should be embarrassed of something? Um, or you keep certain things to yourself and you never discuss it because again, either people have used it against you or people love to judge, knowing damn good and well they're not any better, right? And again, it feels like it's nothing, right? Like when you like when people go, have you ever lied and blah 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 blah, and they're like, one time I took a candy bar from my sister and I never told you're like, that's it? Are you serious? It's not anything. It's funny. It's not anything to be ashamed of or to be judged, but for the sake of other people feeling better about their own lives, they will do it just to have some kind of sense of superiority. Um, like anything that can be used as a knock on you, even if it's not, people have they're giving me gleefully hung on to. So this may be past people, family members, friends, where it's like I just get this false sense of you're safe with me, but you've learned over time you're not safe with certain individuals because they will find the tiniest thing to try and turn it into a mountain when it's just a molehill, and then like I don't know why I'm getting typecast you into a particular role, like, and that's the role you serve, and they will do everything they can to keep you in that role. So that tells me if you tried to have any level of confidence, they'd knock it down. Like, remember this. This is who you are to me. I just get this sense of somebody being okay as long as they are, in their own mind, perceived to be better than you through their lens, or to have at least something one up on you. Like they might be like, I'm not better, but they somehow feel like their life is slightly better, or it just gives that air. Like we're doing a lot of channeling today. So there's this history of that. They're giving me a lot of backstory. And this individual, so you have clammed up, is what I want to say. You have gotten real particular about what you. So nobody ever really gets all of you. They get pieces and chunks, and and even then they might still try. I just feel like there's been a time in your past where you were exceptionally transparent, um, exceptionally authentic, zero masks, masks. They're giving me zero masks. And what the fuck is going on? Look, y'all. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. I walk around in life and it's usually like this. But I get up on here and I be doing some crazy shit that I'm like, I think it's got me like questioning. See, that's kind of like you. Something's happened before and it got you like you're like normally this doesn't bother me, but people got me questioning. Anyways, like the only time I feel like so what I was gonna say is like in my head I'm like how many times do I make? I mean I know I make weird faces, but I be doing some weird shit, and I try to recreate it like in my I'm when I'm going like I'm trying to do it like on my own when I'm not on camera, and I'm like what am I doing? But there's a lot of times I feel like I'm going like I don't know how to explain it, but I'd be like, what is going on? Get your shit together, Sean. Anyway, I just think that people have had you in your head, and so you've pulled back your energy, and no one really gets all of you. Is what I want to say. Um, okay, so let's move into the funny thing is your abilities are going to be enhanced. This does surround mysticism. If you're like, oh, I'm so not. I mean, I don't know why you're watching tarot if you're not into even the slightest bit of what would be considered mysticism. Um, like they're not giving me any examples. They're not giving me any. They're not expanding on it. They're literally like, it's just that your abilities will be enhanced. You know what your abilities are. Some type of ability around some level of mysticism. Um, it could just simply be your intuition heightening and being exceptionally on point. It could be some level of claircognizance. It could be any kind of clair, any kind of I don't know. Like they're not giving me specifics. They're like leave it at that. So we'll see how that plays. And on each side of that, maybe this is something that you hold back on. They give me the term carefully curated. So you have come to an understanding of being very careful of sharing, discussing, speaking to, speaking on, using your abilities or any of your spiritual abilities, anything within your craft, okay? Um, I think that you shared, oh God. Um, I was gonna say all in, and they said balls deep. Like you went balls deep with somebody else before, multiple people, and I'm getting people doubted your ability or didn't like how on par you were with shit, and so like this is the person that can read shit and then can kind of like know shit that they shouldn't know, whether you acknowledge that it's some kind of mystic, whatever, you know, but it's like it's giving a spiritualist to some degree in some capacity. Um, you don't have to be full on woo woo, but like it's been used against you. Okay. And that's why I get the feeling of family, friends, lovers. But there's one person in particular that you went balls deep. and like you shared shit that normally you wouldn't, because we all go, I sound a little crazy, and then like you're willing to say everything to, and you there's something that happened with that where it was they're saying last straw, because people would treat you like you were, I want to say, I feel like people treated you like you were naive, stupid, ignorant, crazy. Like we see this all the time online. People are like, if it's not, you're crazy because you're a Christian. You're crazy because you're like anything spiritual, that doesn't have proof. Which I'd like to remind people, there's really no true actual proof. Every time we think we have proof, within time we find something else out that disproves an aspect or part of something we thought was 100% factual. And so nothing is absolute in this existence. That's a fallacy, in my opinion, right? Even though we do use probability to help us, and we will lean on that as an absolute a lot of times, even spiritualists, until we learn otherwise, until we get new additional information. We can only do with what we've got. But this idea that things are absolute and blah, blah, blah is bullshit. It's bullshit, right? So there's something about this where it's kind of like you'd be able to discuss, share, open up, and be the weird woo woo crazy bitch that you want to be, um, and that you'd be free to explore this and be just totally completely you. And they're not like, this isn't something where it's like, because I just get the feeling of things being used against you, or an attempt to. I don't feel like anything's ever been that successful at, like, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like I get the sense that you hold back at times. Um, and again, I feel like you have shared before. I'm this one I'm picking up like even like friends, so like other spiritualists. And I've always talked about this where it's like it's freeing to have that person where there's not a stop sign. Um, so much in our lives we realize that you can only go so far with a particular person, right? Like you can do all of this but don't do this, you can do all of this but not this. And so when you find somebody that you can be, where there's no point where you have to go, okay, I can only go this far, I can't be at like all of me, all of my crazy, all of my woo woo, all of my whatever with a particular person. um and I feel like saying, um and clarifying, because this part is important to me. I think that some people hear woo woo and the crazy and the spiritualist, and they think things like Q. Absolutely not. Like that spirituality got hijacked to promote that. Absolutely, that's not what I'm motherfucking talking about. And weird is not the same thing as fascism. Okay, just saying that. And I know that there's been political figures that have tried to whatever with that word. We ain't talking about that. Okay? I don't align with anybody who considers himself quote unquote spiritual, connected at all with the divine, that promotes any kind of bigotry, fascism, um, hatred, who doesn't uplift others. Like, I don't fuck with that. Okay? So we ain't talking about that. And if that's your version of spirituality, um, you will find your people. I know we're talking about people. You don't have to have a stop sign, but that is not the definition being used here. Okay, this is talking about connections with the unseen, undescribable, mystical aspects of living a human experience. Oh, like a soul having a human experience kind of thing. That's what we're talking about. So, um, So for those where it's like it seems like I'm putting down a stop sign, that's because that's not fucking spiritual. In my world, my realm. And if you were ever to experience a stop sign with me, that's where it fucking be. Okay? Okay. Let's hop back on. I don't know. That really came up. Like, I just felt like some people being like, yeah, like, oh my God. Oh my God. We're not talking about using spirituality for your own egoic gain, especially a gain that, see, I was gonna say you're one. There's got to be a motherfucker that was watching this because I felt like, again, the person who would use your spirituality against you so that they could always feel just a little bit up above, like they're just more tapped in or they're just more this. Um, that's the bitch we talking about right there. Oh, my nose just started running. Sorry, guys. Um, that's that's what that person would be. That's not what we're talking about here. Now that we got that out of the way. So whatever's coming in is there's got to be an equally yoked situation. An equally yoked situation where your version and definition of and experience of the spiritual, the divine, is going to match that of somebody else. So they would never, they're not, there's not a judgment there. There's just an understanding. I'm still confused of the meticulous and patient because meticulous makes me think well thought out, being very specific, mindful, and particular about something. And that feels not what this is. This is a messy reading. It is jumping all over the place. But it is what it is. It feels almost very careful. Meticulous does. And that doesn't feel like something that you have to do with this person. So we're going to come back to that. That's where we're going to clarify. Bright new prospects are on the horizon. This is going to be like, this is everything from, again, I feel like this could be a very specific person, love, like a romantic partner. It could also be like soul family, true, genuine soul connections that love you as is, as are, that you don't have those, that you can bear it all, that you can share it all. Bright new prospects are on the horizons. Like serendipitous events are going to okay, I get it. The reason why you have to be patient, and I think the meticulous is talking more about, it is having an awareness of what you're doing because I think the idea is that things are going to come together serendipitously, which means events are going to be coordinated in your favor, that it's not necessarily something that you do. And so the meticulous is like, why don't you be patient and not try to make something happen? Like if you find yourself almost trying to coordinate, create, push something along, that's when the patience needs to just let it be what it is right now in this moment rather than trying to, and they don't want me to use the word force. They don't need you helping to create something to come about, to bring something in, to make something happen. Just continue as you are. And the idea of patience is acceptance for what is right now in the moment. It's a state of allowance, is what it is. Because serendipity is at play, which you could kind of like, you don't know what's going on in the background that you could kind of fuck with, is what I want to say. Um, because it's almost like you then get in your head too much, and you may end up like, I get the sense that you're going to focus so much on what you're attempting to do that you ignore your intuition. So again, your abilities are going to be enhanced. Kind of also feels like you're going to know what to do, when to do it. You're going to see the serendipitous events. You're going to see these things play out. There's not really anything that you have to do. You just have to act on it when it happens. So don't try to make it happen. Don't try to coordinate something. Don't try to create a situation. Don't let that be your, like, if like, you're not going to speed something up if you do things, but you might miss the events, only because you're so wrapped in your mind. Okay, so let's pull some cards more on this. Where are we going with this? So I've got that Gulford song. Oh, she wants to dive right in. I'm gonna let her take control. I can't fucking sing, but this motherfucker can. Goldford, Easy Does It is a song. So you might want to like take a like, oh, she wants to dive right in. I'm gonna let her take control. Take it easy. So the premise of the song is something feeling so magnetic and right and almost scary, and so someone's like, let's just kind of like slow things down a bit, like let's not rush it too much, but it feels so right, so good, so something that then, and I, it's a sense from the perspective of the singer, like somebody else wants you so much, wants this so much, that it's just actually taking it easy. This is almost, so up until the point of serendipity happening, you're going to take it easy. But at some point in this song, there's also a point where you let go and things speed up. Because the idea is that whoever this individual feels so drawn to is ready to go in head first and ready to just, you know what I mean? And it's like, so you're supposed to wait for the moment, wait for the serendipity, but also same as like how doing too much and trying to coordinate and try to create and try to take like move things along and like, oh, I'll do this, and sometimes that can create resistance. Also, once something is meant to pick up and have its natural momentum and things are supposed to evolve, if you attempt to control at any point in this process, that is when resistance is created. Okay, so there are going to be times where it's like, no, you don't need to be doing anything active. You need to take it easy. And then there's going to come a point where you dive right in to whatever this is. But it's not until this happens. I also get the sense they're saying that parts of this is you're not going to be judged for circumstances in your life. So there might be things that you are embarrassed about. Like some people get embarrassed with the idea that they're not further along in their career than what they are. Some may be embarrassed that they have been married and divorced and it feels like a failure and like they don't, some people might be embarrassed by, but I do think that there are certain things that I get 3D issues and realities where it's kind of like it's a non-issue with whoever is coming in. They want to highlight that and mention it. So I want to say, when they talk about your secrets are safe, it's kind of like, again, it's not like a secret. It's just things that you hold really close that you don't want to reveal. It's all good. So while there is a lot in regards to your spirituality and who you are, there's also things within your existence, your 3D reality, that have caused you to hold back in life. And it's all good. That came out of nowhere. I don't know why they wanted me to revisit that, but we did. So they want the Night Sun Tarot. This is definitely gonna take some time, y'all. Look at this shit. Oof. You know what? I let my hair grow out, and man, can I just tell you, it be getting like I love it, and it gets on my nerves at the same time. Okay. Let's see. I want to know more about this true love and fidelity, actually. And like just, I mean, I've really touched on like a million. I feel like a million different things, and it'll make sense to the right person. But I also feel like I'm jumping around a little bit too. Nothing seems sequential in what I'm saying. That might be something. They said go back to the beginning. What was I fucking talking about when I first got on? There was something that I mentioned. They keep singing the easy does it. Whatever makes sense in the beginning is not going to necessarily, so whatever makes sense right now, some people get tied to that and they're like, okay, this is how I handle it throughout the entire evolution of whatever's happening. And they're like, no. So it's going to feel like yes, no, this, that, what, you know, it's kind of like what's applicable now won't be applicable later. Like, don't hold on to any one thing or way of something transpiring or happening or doing. Because I do get this just ride the wave. That's what it is. Riding the wave in the beginning is just let it happen naturally. But also when shit picks up, don't interpret taking it easier riding the wave to mean that you need to like slow things down. Whatever pace it's going at is the pace that it needs to be at. And things will naturally happen that the pace will change is what they're trying to tell you. Just let the pace be whatever it is. See what I saw it. I saw it in real time. I'm like, when the fuck do I do this in my real life? Because now I'm wondering how frequently I look like that. I don't know why I'm paying attention to that. There may be things that again, I guarantee you other people are like, I don't fucking care, but I care. So you might be paying attention to certain things, again, that someone's not going to give a shit about. Just the right crowd, the right friend group, the right individuals are not going to give a shit. But you've been made to think that everybody in the fucking world is going to give a shit about something. And they ain't. Like, I don't know why. Okay? I don't know why. So they're giving me, okay, I was going to say, here lately, the King of Wands has just been super delicious, and which he always is. Super delicious and just like my favorite king, right? I don't fucking know why. And some people are like, but the King of Pentacles is the best one, right? And I'm like, well, yes, but who's to say the King of Wands is not also a King of Pentacles? It's just that this aspect of him, right? Because when you become the King of Pentacles, you've mastered all the kings. You're all the kings. So my thing is that this is the one. I just want to be like yummy. That this is this represents whatever is visibly seen. way this motherfucker moves, the way that the King of Wands, their energy, what they exude, that's the sexiest part of them. This is the sexy shit about this motherfucker. Still the King of Pentacles, okay? Don't get it fucking twisted because at no point, because I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of King of Pentacles out there, but if you ain't attracted to their King of Wands aspect, right? So there is some heavy attraction. There's a lot to like about a certain person. Okay. And there's just something that this is the outward the outward expression, the outward persona, the outward energy that they project, right? Like this is BDE. Okay. You can be a King of Pentacles. And the thing that people first notice about you may not necessarily be BDE, but it is a motherfucker is. Like I feel like if they were to step into your field of energy, it's like, oof, oof. Oh my god, like motherfucker, sexy, like sexy. Oh my god, and this is Leo energy. Look at this shit. Look at this lion back here. So I mean, gotta give it to our Leos. You can't fucking tell me motherfuckers don't. Even if you know better, right? Like it's not even like you toxic as fuck, but like they have this for whoever I'm talking to. There's somebody that's entering your field that is just like whatever it is, like the things that you find the sexiest or the most appealing. That's 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 what they project almost immediately, and you pick up on. Shit. I'm getting indulgence, like the things that you just really want to indulge in. Like their sexy makes you really want to indulge in. Now, this isn't gender specific, guys, but the King of Wands, because masculine energy penetrates. This person, we were talking about walls and shit. That's why you can't keep your mouth shut. That's why shit just comes flying out. Like when I say they penetrate your energy, you're like good, go. That's why I talk about when they step into your merkabic field, you're like fuck. They will not be denied. You will recognize. You will feel, sense, and your attention will be okay because we have the devil. It feels like somebody's got now you have free will, but man, their energy feels like somebody's got a hold on you. Because the idea of like this is a very sacral charged card. Okay, the energy. It is the indulgences. It is. It's almost your vice. It's like a vice. Uh, look, there's two figures on here, okay? There's a book that's open with the heart right on it. It's almost as if it's like you have free will, you have choice, but you feel bound. And when I say that you unravel with this person, so we are getting very specific, right? You show your cards. They both wear masks. You're used to wearing masks, but someone's taking their mask off. Someone takes their mask off. I'm getting, is that Natasha Bedingfield? Whatever. Uh, her song. I just feel like you're gonna be waiting, observing. Serendipitous things are gonna be happening. You're not push. You don't gotta push anything. But when this motherfucker penetrates your energy and your field, shit picks up fast. Oh, she wants to dive right in. I'ma let her take control. I gotta quit because I don't want to get like somewhere. Oof. Somebody's heart is gonna be out there. Page of Swords. I think that's why the heart was palpitating in the beginning because you're gonna visibly watch yourself like just succumb to whatever this is. It's gonna be. I just like they're like it's gonna feel so delicious. So we are getting a little more closed down, guys. To I mean, yes, you could feel this way about certain individuals, like a best friend soulmate kind of situation where it's like, but this is very penetrative. And it's just a sense of letting them, because again, with the devil, like nobody can force you. Nobody can force you anything. These chains can be taken off at any time. But there's this sense of, but I want to. There's a that's a little like that might be a little hint at some schmessual stuff there, because that's like I will let them. I want this. Why is that under? Okay, under your. It's okay. It's hella giving dark feminine. Woo! Energy. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Um, dark feminine is not about. It's not evil. For those who aren't aware, the dark feminine is about. I mean, think of Lilith, right? There's a difference between forcing someone to submit and someone consciously like wanting, desiring, and like, giving permission, right? Like she believed in the freedom to choose for herself, okay, and owning her power and never being shamed for it, and that's what this is. This is the it's like for the right one, for the right one, and never never being shamed or feeling wrong for indulging what you want and desire. Your desires are not wrong, okay? But somebody is going to put it on full display. Everything's just gonna. It's like unzipping your meat suit and stepping out. It's that level of vulnerability and being seen where it's like that is like you can't like it's like taking it off and you can't put it back on. Like you are on full display. funny that I put the Page of Swords under the Your Secrets Are Safe. This is about communication, sharing, exploring. I do get a sense that when this person initially enters, with some serendipitous, it's kind of, I don't think you're sharing, the thing is, I don't think you're sharing it. You're not, it's not that you're not trying to keep it from like the public. It's not like, oh, the public doesn't need, I don't know what that's about. But it's like, because people have used shit against you before. And so you keep it quiet. You don't share, you don't communicate what's going on. Like I feel like things are, because they would try to interfere with the pace. Remember I said ride the wave and allow the pace to be whatever it is at any stage, right? So the level of patience and letting things unfold as they need to up, and then once following your intuition and following the serendipitous events and seeing what it brings into you, and then like when things speed up, like allowing that. It's really truly about being in a state of allowance this entire time for things to, for the pace. Others would try to intervene. So I feel like this isn't something that you're going to share with others because you don't want their input. You don't want them to interject or intervene on how fast or slow this is going. So the both of you may not share much because you frankly don't give a shit and shouldn't about other people's input. There's something else with this Page of Swords too. Like when I say, I feel like the King of Wands is everything you could desire. Imagine someone approaching you where, like, in the past, let's think collectively for the past 2 decades of the things that you've come to realize that you really want, desire, and find appealing in a person. And then someone shows up in your field that right from the get-go, in your face, exemplifies and shows it from the get, like you're like, I can see everything. What the fuck? It almost feels too good to be true, right? Like something along these lines must be false. But they captivate you immediately. They pull you in immediately, and it's like you have free will, but you've almost got no defenses. Because what are you going to bitch about? What are you going to, no, I can't. What, is too good to be true? Are you shitting me? Like someone shows the fuck up with everything, and they're exuding it. Nothing's hidden. Like you can see, like shit. And it's as fuck, and it's just, you know what I mean? And so, and we've got this, which is, there's an egg above. So the idea that it comes in hot and heavy, and I feel like lights you up immediately. I feel like your sacral is going to be ignited. And that doesn't mean that you will be engaging in any of those sensual activities right away or anything. I'm not saying that. But when I say you are online and your defenses are down and you're taken aback and things are just going the way, you know what I mean? Bitch, are you serious? Wow. 2 of Cups. There may be a bit of like, I think that you are in shock that a person shows up as, it feels fairy tale almost, like you give a wish to your fairy godmother and someone shows up with everything that you thought there's no way. And like in some instances, you have to be with a person for a period of time to discover certain things. But I feel like BDE is the energy enters the room and is commanding, like immediately. Like you see, you like fucking as transparent as you're like, wow, this person exudes. There's nothing hidden with that. I'm I'm not saying there wouldn't be more to discover of this person. But let's just say one day that you created a list and you went to the moon and you gave the moon your wish and you burned the list, right? And the idea of the Page of Cups is you get what you desire, but so much more. So yes, there's things to discover, but you was not anticipating getting what you. Are you shitting me? So we have. I think what's confusing because we have the Seven of Cups is that like I've looked for this in so many spaces and places that it didn't seem real. But also, what seems confusing about the Two of Cups is you're exactly what they've been looking for. And I feel like you can't fathom that you're exuding in the same capacity as them. Like you're drawing them, and you got to be some kind of Queen of Wands energy because you're attracting them to you. Like you're like, I don't know. I feel like somebody might be like, oh, that might be a red flag. That I'm everything. Like you see yourself in a way where it's like you couldn't be somebody's dream person, and you think that you don't exude. Like if they just got to know me, then they know what a great person. They can fucking tell right the fuck away. Same as you, and that because I feel like both cups are equally. Again, we talk about equally yoked. Like this is like very mirrored. See how this is? How these are mirrored? It's mirrored. And I'm sure that they feel like they have shortcomings or aspects that are undesirable, and they don't understand why you are so attracted to them. And that's where this Seven of Cups confusion comes into play. Is that it's like you're somebody's like, is this even real? You both are going to do that. Is this even real? And then you each are going to look at yourselves like, why would I be the? What do you? And there may you've this is going to be your first time encountering somebody who has everything, who shows everything right away, where you're just flabbergasted and immediately drawn in, and like you were just sucked into this. Like I just feel like you can't help but indulge. And same for them, which is just baffling. There's this the funny thing is it feels mesmerizing, but each of you couldn't be more yourselves and in your face and authentic and transparent, which is beautiful because when you think that you should shut up and not share, um, they're eating that shit up. Like when you because you've experienced that other people like looked at you a certain way, or there's always been a stop. Like this person is eating it up because we have Ten of Cups. You are each other's wish. And neither one of you could imagine being somebody else's wish. So they've experienced as much as you're like, holy shit, a motherfucker like that really, like, I feel like this is everything from personality to certain traits to characteristics to physical appeal. Like, y'all are like, and you aren't necessarily everybody's cup of tea. They're not everybody's cup of tea. But damn if y'all don't check each other's shit off. Like it's not even funny. And so you're each other's wish. I just keep getting this feeling like it's not even real. Like your wish come true. And the idea is that's what the Ten of Cups is always about, joining cups together. You didn't you didn't know how to find this. I think because spirit had to bring it in again. The idea of not, gosh, of not fuck. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this, guys. Shit. Okay. I feel pressured. uh, you just didn't know how to find this because it had to find you, and this is happening on their end too. Like, I feel like when they've tried to make things happen or tried to find this wish, this thing that they gave to the moon, you know what I mean? Um, that is a thing. Whoever this is, you very well have a very special relationship with the moon, but they do as well. Like, you know how like when you wish upon a star, like this person has conversations with the moon. Okay. Uh, and so like you just didn't know how. You didn't know where to find it. You couldn't find it anywhere because you couldn't find it. That's the thing. It had to be brought to you serendipitously. Okie dokie. So we have the Ten of Cups, and this is ultimate. This is shared reciprocal joy, happiness, uh, um, fulfillment. You fulfill one another. You 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 will fulfill. Like I don't. You hear those couples where they're like, I didn't think I could find anybody like this, and I didn't know I could be this happy because it's like you each are the Nine of Cups. You are reflecting back to one another again. This reflection, this mirroring. You are experiencing the kind of love you've always held within you and given out through somebody else. So whatever, like I just feel like you are poor. Like this is a match. This is a match, and we have fuck me. You can't get better than this, motherfuckers. Um, the sun. I feel like it's blessed. I feel like again you couldn't get better than this. Nothing's perfect, and it's like that's perfect. It's this notion of perfection doesn't even exist between the two of you because it's an experience. It is felt. It draws you into the present. It it's a fuck yes. Like whatever the two of you that could share, I honestly feel like saying the way it feels inside is that you you would not ever have a better emotional experience than this. Both of these are like the best. You got the major arcana with the minor arcana of pure joy and love and like the pinnacle of that. Like you couldn't get better than this. There would never be a better experience. You couldn't find this in another person. I know that gets whatever, but I feel like the reason why they're okay with phrasing it like that because you know sometimes we it can be dangerous to put that much emphasis on one particular person like you're just going to miss out on joy. They have no spirit is like you all will not miss each other. Like this is coming together because that's where the serendipity is. Um, but also once you do come in, there is nothing that's going to stop the two of you from coming together. Once you are brought together and this King of Wands penetrates your field, it's almost like I feel like Spirit's gonna be like, our job is done. Because you'll take it from there. They have no doubt when the two of you come together, you will stay together. Nothing. I think so. This idea of it couldn't get better than this is the experience the two of you are going to have. Okay, it's the experience the two of you are going to have. You're going to feel this way each with one another. It's going to be surprising because you didn't think it was possible. You couldn't fathom how it would ever be like that. Cups for the Sun. And it is a fuck yes for you both. I think that's the reason why the pace will change. Like you may have felt like this has taken forever to come together, but like when this happens, it's just ride the wave. Like that's where I feel like this is a the devil can also be about a surrender because obviously the chains that are here, the idea of destiny is you have to choose it, which is really embodied also by the Four of Cups, right? That proverbial cup that comes from the sky as if it's just ushered in by spirit. You still have to choose it. You still have to grab it and take it up, right? Same with this. It's like you could, or you could, because there's also a level of, even when it's negatively aspected, when it's the devil, you surrender to it. You succumb to it. You allow it. I feel like the Four of Cups is related to the Page of Swords, and I'm going to find out how. So give me just a second, okay? And then we will. Damn. Fuck. Okay. So they're giving me with the Four of Cups. If you think traditional Rider Waite, like you have to keep living your life, right? So she's still handling the other three cups, right? A lot of times in Rider Waite, you're watching and observing. You're in existence. So one of you is having to navigate and juggle in life while also waiting for some serendipitous events to that proverbial cup for spirit to coordinate something, for things to just happen. We do have the Knight of Cups. Fuck me. Yeah. I swear to God. You're going to lose my shit here. I'm losing my shit. Okay, guys. Knight of Cups, Star, Magician. Knight of Cups. So one of you is still trying to manage life while also waiting for the proverbial cup from the sky. Because she's still manhandling those three cups. Sometimes somebody is. So I feel like this is the other person. I feel like the King of Wands is managing life, like still having to engage in other aspects of their life while also waiting for this to happen. But I mean, the same could be said for you. But they're showing me two different Four of Cups. The one where the person is just kind of like apathetic, like their life is just blah. So one of you is very active in your life. The other one is kind of like maybe just waiting for life to kick up again because it's the same old bullshit every different day. It's like, you know what I mean? So one of you is actively just, one feels very engaged with their life and the other one feels apathetic towards their life a little bit. And for the person, I feel like the King of Wands because this other individual is going to be the one to act. I feel like whoever I'm reading for is more of a Queen of Wands type of energy where it's being attracted in, it's coming to you. There's not a lot of action. So I would say you're the person that might be experiencing more apathy. Flip it however it works. You may be cross watching and shit like that and not even realizing it and then going, damn, I feel like I'm the King of Wands. You may have denied that at first because you felt like, who am I to be somebody's everything? There's gnats. I've been watching my window. I've got two gnats in here now. They're just trying to. I feel like there are people that will be watching, but your secrets are safe. Everything's good. You're gonna get to solidify this before anybody can have any kind of interjection, like before somebody tries to interject. Um, so King of Wands is is waiting for this serendipitous event, this cup to show up. It's almost like they're gonna recognize you as the cup that Spirit's bringing in, because I think that they initiate the communication, but they're still dealing with life. So at the time that they initiate some kind of contact with you, because the King of Wands again is penetrating your energy. Um, because we also have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups has a knowing. They've got the scroll. Um, they want to partake. They have a cup to offer. So the idea is, even though that they're still wrapped up in their life and really actively doing things, and if I were to take away the proverbial cup upstairs, the one that's coming in, it leaves me with the Three of Cups. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This person is loving life or experiencing a lot of good things right now. They're engaged with their life. That's what I keep saying, and so like they're really actually like having some fun, but they're still open and receptive to that cup. And so it's like when spirit brings it, they will partake in it. They will drink from your cup. They will drink from your cup because they are open and willing to the they're receptive to the guidance. They're seeking home. North Star takes you home. They will indulge. I swear to God, these gnats. Somebody wants to be. There's going to be some busybodies around. They ain't going to really know what's up until you let them know what's up. Okay. Star card, like they're open and receptive, and I feel like because they're not as somebody's just not engaged with their life, so they're not as when you're not that engaged, apathy can kind of have you not really acting on certain things. This person is like they're more likely because of how much they're engaged with their life and doing in life to be brought your direction. So like, when you hear these readings of like like you need to get out more so spirit can coordinate something. Well, if you're not the one getting out, the other person is, and that's how they find their way to you. So I feel like because of how their life is going right now, that's the most probable. That's why, because something about your life is keeping you from being able to, like, you're not taking lots of action. And so, like, that's why they're like being with the meticulous and patient. It's like if you try to do something, you might mess things up a little bit right now. So, like, you feel like something's happening, you feel like something's coming, and so you come up with ideas, but I mean, let's get real. Like, nothing you would come up with would actually be the thing that's necessary because again, I feel like you're not engaged with life to the capacity or in the degree that would get you into their field where you could penetrate their life and their energy. And so, spirits like, and I feel like honestly, anything you come up with would not, it wouldn't get you any closer to them. You wouldn't, but and it's not even like what you do would mess up this. It's I feel like just trying to be in the control seat, be the planner of things, get you into your mind, which then no, no, no. When something serendipitous happened, you're like, no, 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 that's not what I had planned. It's supposed to go like this, so you dismiss it, right? So then you don't follow your intuition, follow your guidance, follow, what I mean? Your abilities are going to be enhanced so that you can acknowledge when, like promptings from spirit, when you're feeling drawn to something, right? So you are in a bit more of a still energy than the King of Wands. Good shit. I know that's taking forever, but this is, bitches, let me tell you something. When you stick the fuck around, we get some good shit. Like, we're always asking for advice and guidance. And when that shit happens really quick, your brain is easy to dismiss it. When someone says do this, this, and this within a 10-minute time frame, you're not understanding why and how that applies to you. And and how you could, you know what I mean? Like we get into the nitty gritty so that you won't dismiss this shit as it's happening, right? Could I sum this up in a 5 minute, maybe 10 minute, whatever? Yes. But it's all the nuances in between that helps prepare you energetically, like kneading sourdough, in order to be able to do what you need to do. Okay? So I'm reading for people who can easily fuck shit up. Pardon, because they can think circles around something and dismiss them. You know what I mean? Like their brain is powerful. Your brain is powerful. All right, motherfucker. So sometimes when two people are manifesting each other, because we do have a magician, one is going to be a bit more capable of making it happen. The magician makes shit happen. He's got all the tools. He's got all the, you know what I mean? And so this is a situation where the King of Wands is going to make sure they follow all the promptings. That they are in the energy and the capacity for spirit to move them in just the right way. So because the star card is about following that North Star, that is spirit led. That is following the guidance. That is and the capacity to act on it. Right? You can't just go, oh, I see the star. You've got to walk that path. And they're a magician. They can. You may have circumstances in your life where if spirit were to give you some kind of you don't have the capacity to do it right now. It's nothing against you. This motherfucker can. So this individual has life happening, is willing to partake, is willing, and this is also about listening to the guidance, understanding the guidance, trusting themselves emotionally, feeling and listening to the emotions that they have, but also their intuition, whether they call it a hunch, their gut, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. It's they're open to that and they're on top of following it. And that's exactly what they're doing. They know that inherently they're being guided to something, and when they receive that guidance, they act on it. They make it happen. Then we have I didn't know. Queen of Wands. This is interesting. We have a Queen of Wands and the Three of Swords. I am not getting, I'm getting a sense of grief to a certain degree, but not like, oh, I just broke up with somebody. But there's some kind of Three of Swords surrounding the Queen of Wands, which is why she's less, and I say she very loosely, guys. The Queen of Wands is less likely to be the person because they're not very busy in their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? That there's some kind of something that interferes with acting on. Funny, they're bringing me to this and they're like, this applies to them as well. Like, I feel like saying, if you're the Queen of Wands, your abilities are enhanced and amplified when you're still, like the Queen of Wands, and just allow. Theirs, this is why whoever is the King of Wands is in the more masculine type energy, because theirs is when they're in the doing and the acting and the engaging, their shit's more on par. Your gut is louder. Like if they go stagnant, they lose touch a little bit. At least in this phase. At least in the coming together. And so there's certain things looming. I feel like these things are like in the environment of the Queen of Wands because they're showing me how like there's only one sword piercing the heart. So something that has created a level of grief. And this may again, we also are talking about somebody who's experiencing apathy because I saw the other four of cups. Um, and so she's not necessarily seeing the cup coming in. She's not engaged with life. Something has disengaged the Queen of Wands from life. Something which makes it feel like a very conscious disengagement because the sword suit is mental. It is truth. Something very dishonest. We did talk about in the beginning about you having gone balls deep with somebody before, and so like you have gone back to being particular and showing pieces of yourself versus the whole thing. So you frequently put stop signs along your path on your own before somebody else can do it out of an abundance of caution. These two swords by these two individuals. You have a truth, they have a truth. It's like when you've shown both aspects of yourself. Because I'm getting the two different masks here. One is light, one is dark. So it's like the yin and yang of who you are. When both of those are, when you are in full visibility and full transparency, that's when that happened. And so you have a habit in order to preserve yourself of placing stop signs in your life out of an abundance of protection, which has put you in a more Queen of Wands energy that what is meant for me comes to me. Because I feel like whatever happened before, where your heart was pierced, it's more of a when I put myself out there, that happened. So you don't put yourself out there like that anymore. But you're still very much in touch with all of you. And your internal world is exceptionally rich and magnifying. But it's almost as if, again, those walls that are going to come down, they're up for a reason because not everybody gets to experience this. Because you emanate it so sincerely, you have to take steps to protect yourself. Because when people get a glimpse of this, it's like a moth to a flame. And you don't trust everybody that you attract to you. I feel like this is a habit that you have developed. This is a habit that you have developed. You're more discerning and less trusting of everybody than you used to be. Because they're showing me the 9 of Wands. You pull back from life because you realize you draw in attention like those gnats. And it's not always good. In fact, when you've been on full visibility, even with the best defenses, I want to say, like, a part of me wants to be like, well, you don't trust yourself and you you lack because you've lacked the discernment, and spirit keeps correcting. They're like, mm-mm. I think that your truest, authentic self is exceptionally um, heartfelt and sincere and loving and nurturing, and that is a part of your superpower. And it's almost like you're meant to show everything, and you're not meant to take culpability for somebody else's actions for fucking with that. Like, I feel like that person's gonna get their shit. If you don't know this already, they're gonna get their shit for. I just feel like, it's not that this person had to do anything in particular. They shat on, and I know that there's a lot of people that you've encountered, but this one particular person that you went balls deep with, they'll get theirs for that bullshit. I think spirit is like, it wasn't supposed to go that way. But something that they did made you regret being this Queen of Wands that emanates this and shares her energy so freely, and it made you feel like it wasn't worth it. Why are we going so fucking deep? What is going to be said with the Page of Swords? So they're going to initiate that. They're going to initiate the conversation. Can you tell us when, what's happening, how, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we're going to use the Secret Tarot. All right, guys. Nine of Swords. I want to know about the Page of Swords. At the bottom of the Page of Swords feet is the egg, the beginning of this. So it will begin with communication. But at this point, there is no communication. The sword is down, but this individual is intently observing. They're watching. So this may be a situation, not for all, where someone has clocked you already. They're living. They've got stuff going on in their life. They've got the cup. They may not have partaken in it just yet, though. But it's an acknowledgement. Like, you may have been clocked by somebody already. Like, see what I'm trying to say? The fuck? It's weird. Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords. This may potentially be related. And again, y'all are mirroring each other, so I guess that's true. I'm getting the feeling that has something to do with the King of Wands, which may also, man, I go back and forth, and there's something new for each of these fucking cards every time I turn around. When I say this was surrounding this, it's like you're calling someone in, but in the field there's this interference of a Three of Swords, so that might be where on their end is some level of grief that has happened. We've got Nine of Swords. I feel like this is more like concerns, not so much fears. There may have been some kind of separation in the King of Wands life. Again, where that might be some of the things that they're trying to keep under wraps is something about that. And so they didn't want to bring undue attention to themselves. So if they have already clocked you, they may have hesitated at first. Like, I feel like something had to resolve. There was the Nine of Swords. There were some concerns, things that had to be dealt with, maybe some anxiety. Um, they may have gone through some kind of separation or some kind of grief. So, like, either losing somebody in their life, like family members, or there was a relationship that was ending. And but that's over with now. It's put to rest. Ten of Swords is kind of like you move from the 10 to the ace. Like there's a surrender here to, and like the worst of it is over, is what I'm trying to say. The worst of it is over. Whatever was happening. It's funny because their life is pretty busy. Their life is pretty busy, but there was still something that was transpiring and happening and things like that. And but it's done and over with, and they're moving into the Ace of Swords, which is clarity, freedom, and so whatever it's like she's pulling somebody in. They may have already seen you in some capacity. Y'all, there's some people that will like when you're the King of Wands and you're the one that's open and you're the one that's making moves. They're frequently the ones who can be like, "That's my person," like immediately, and it could be on social media, like that's the person I'm with. You know what I mean? It could be fucking knows, right? Um, the Queen of Wands is unaware. She's the Four of Cups, where it's like the proverbial cup is over here coming out of the sky, and she don't see it. She's only focused on what's happening in life, and it's pretty apathetic right now. And so this is kind of like maybe this person there was something surrounding, like swirling around, like this need to be resolved and taken care of on the king because y'all marry each other on the King of Wands side, right? But it's been put to rest, so that's the idea of there hasn't been communication yet. And the start of this egg, this new beginning, won't crack open until this communication happens. Okay. But they will, they will. So even if they haven't met you yet, once they do, there might be a bit of a delay in them trying to make sure something else is resolved because there's things that they're like they're worried about something in regards to this situation, and so they don't want it interfering with this. They're really smart. That's emotionally intelligent, and but it's this is the idea that the communication will happen once this is resolved. Okay, so that was a bit of the timing. They're like once they take care of certain things. Like there's just certain things, and these could be anxieties, worries, concerns in other areas of their life. Again, I said they're very much lots happening in their life. There's a lot of good things happening in their life, but you don't want to start something or initiate something or go towards something when there's still lingering grief and separation or anything else like that on your end. Like you don't bring that into something, right? And so you're trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Tell me more about the Page of Swords, please. But oh shit! Seriously, that's like a whole fucking. There's something else about this where it's like, in the meantime, there's a lot of observing going on. I keep saying clocking. I don't know. Like that's like when you clock somebody's teeth. Like you clock somebody. Like you peg them down. I don't know. Like you see them. You not. I don't know. And I'm like, why are we? There's got to be a better term. But maybe this is something that you use. On the flip side, in this particular one, it is like, again, they didn't want to indulge in something until other things were put to rest, and they could have been in separation with somebody. I don't know. I just feel like there was an issue, and it may be that whatever the issue is, it just kept the two of you separate because they wanted to make sure they cleared some things up. You know what I mean? And it could be like this could literally be my fears and anxieties around the pace at which my life is going and my inability to really give due diligence to whatever this is. Let me take care of a couple of things. That way I have the capacity to both not only manage my life but take this new cup in. So it doesn't have to be necessarily something negative. I do feel like for some it was something that weighed on their heart that they had to resolve. Again, but overall, generally, they had to resolve something before they could indulge in this and go there with you. This does indicate a level of attraction, I will say that much, and wanting to, a desire, a deep, deep desire to. Okay, Page of Swords. And in the meantime, Queen of Wands be sitting here hermit mode, Four of Cups. Funny though, because this person, while they're busy in life, it's not like they're not. I feel like they've been a bit of hermit mode as well, and they've not been indulging in partaking in anybody else's cup. So it's not just you; it's just period. But I do feel like this is like some kind of something had to be taken care of, because this could also be the idea of like whatever had to be taken care of is like the devil. They didn't want to bring that type of energy into um, any kind of negativity into this. They don't want to initiate something while something was still circling in the energies. So they had to take care of something. And here, Queen of Wands just sitting, waiting. The things are moving. We have the Six of Swords, which is things are going to start to move. Things are transitioning. Things are in movement now. Okay, so what does that mean for the Page of Swords, though? This communication. We want to know specifically about when and how they will reach out. Now, I know they might hold back on that because, again, they're like, you just ride the wave, just wait. It'll come to you. There's nothing you can do. And maybe giving you the information will make you feel like you'll get mentally involved then and try to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, kind of thing. And sometimes that can ruin things because you'll try and see things as serendipitous that aren't, or things that are serendipitous you will dismiss because you're so caught up mentally in trying to make sure something comes to pass, and it's like that's not your job. Um, Page of Swords and Two of Pentacles. They can now focus on this. I feel like somebody's wanted to say something to you for a little bit, and for some of y'all, you don't have a fucking clue who this person is, and you're like, I don't even understand how they came across me. Okay, so, but it's transitioning. Their focus is transitioning now, because I feel like the idea of, you know, there was things they were having to juggle, but also like the idea of I always look at this as like where to prioritize. And so they had to take care of some things, get some things out of their energy field. They've been doing stuff in their life, but also cleaning some stuff up because they didn't want to bring something in. And it's almost like I have to make sure this is taken care of, resolved before this. And now they can change their area of focus. Like something's been taken off their plate. They can now take this cup. They can now initiate something. So things are changing. Like the idea is they've moved into calmer waters, and so now they have taken care of it. It is resolved. It is resolved. Now, for some of you, it could be that you have not crossed their radar because they had to resolve some stuff. I'm getting both of them. I'm getting some people where it's like you've come across their radar, but they're like like I gotta take care of some stuff first. And for others where you are going to be majorly highlighted, because remember they're the ones that are in motion, so they can be positioned to be able to clock you, and so their focus is about to be on you because they are in a better place to do that. And how long are we talking before? Oh, they may not get that. I'm getting July. There's a heavy emphasis on July for whatever reason. This doesn't even feel right. Yeah, I whatever it is, like I think that intellectually they made a decision. There were so many things happening, and again, a lot happening in their life. Five of Wands is kind of like it was a bit chaotic. There's things that need to be taken care of. We have the Eight of Swords that held them back. They were held back because they wanted to make sure something was resolved. Okay, so yeah, that's just the same shit. Like, what is? I don't feel like it's something that still needs to be resolved. Nine of Cups. Got the Three of Pentacles. This to me is connecting with somebody. It's like networking, connecting, bridging a gap, so to speak, in your 3D. This is definitely giving like they're going to bridge that gap. There may be something to, I don't want to go to like they're working on something about the network of people or the network of individuals bridges the gap between you and them. This is fucking long. Ace of Wands. Yeah. Something helps bridge the gap to you. Explain the Three of Pentacles because I feel like it's wanting to connect with you. Putting something tangible on offer. Something tangible on offer. They might use something very tangible as a reason to reach out to you and to initiate, because that's what I'm getting with the Fool. Like it's about starting something in your reality, but they may use something because we've got on each side of it we've got wish and a desire. Like this is like acting on a desire, initiating something that they desire. And the idea of the Three of Pentacles being like the bridge, the creation, the coming together. And they might use something showing me something, but I'm trying to figure out how that relates to the Page of Pentacles. Give me just a second. I feel like they're going to give you just enough. You're going to figure it out. Like I'm not going to come right out and say it 100%, but like they're going to give you 95%, and you're going to be like, oh, does that make sense? So it's not. I don't know why it feels like we can't really tell you because you go too far. But when it's something you discover on your own, somehow you let it be. But if they tell you, then you kind of like try to get involved and like fucking take control. Some weird shit here, guys. 2 of Wands. So it's getting like they reach out, they post something, they do something that gets you to then respond, because the Two of Wands is like taking action towards a desire. But I feel like what they're doing with the Three of Pentacles is trying to initiate something, kind of like bridging the gap. Um, but it's like they use something very tangible where you then have to move towards. It's like kind of putting it again in your. Yeah, but you're gonna succumb to it. Like you're gonna surrender. You're gonna, yeah. Like you can't help it. Your walls, defense, everything just like, because they penetrate. Like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna penetrate your field, but put something in a position where the ball is in your court and you have to act towards it. Like you will know that they're interested to a certain degree, because how is mofo, like they present something to you, they initiate by presenting something to you, like, and between the Three of Pentacles is like it's a bridge. So it's like, let's focus on this. Like it could fuck. They're showing me somebody like posting something, because we're thinking something very tangible that is observable by others. Because Three of Pentacles is somebody creates something very public that others then can observe. So it's almost like, I don't know. This is the analogy they're giving me. I was trying to figure it out. Like putting something funny or banter on the internet and seeing if you bite. But it feels very flirtatious, very like they're going to initiate and they're going to see if you reciprocate, if you act towards that. They're going to show interest, but it feels very public. So it's kind of like an invite. They're going to initiate something with you. I don't know how this is going to play out. I feel like social media cannot be the only way that this could play out, but it's like the low hanging fruit of an example, which is why they gave it to me. There's a sense of an offer here. Like, I don't know, like maybe you should take them up on it. I'm trying to think of ways that could happen. Like, like how sometimes people would be like, you could post something and be like, hey, I would love this to happen. They're like, and somebody responds like, I can make something happen for you. And just waiting for something to come back where it's like, there's like a little back and forth. There is a bit of, it's funny. Because this is going to be something that can be kept quiet, where like prying eyes don't see it. Secrets are safe. So see, this is where like you'll know, or it'll make sense when it happens. The medium in which the two of you may cross each other's paths will be public. That's what I'm going to say. The manner in which, because of what they're doing in their life, it like generally would be like, this could be their craft, this could be something puts them, but it gives them the ability to. But it's also like sliding into somebody's DMs, right? So something may be, the bridge between the two of you may be very public. So like, again, that's low hanging fruit. But my brain is like, I can't think of another fucking way. Like the bridge two of you is something that's public and perceived and seen. Again, very much feels like social media. So that might be the medium, the bridge between the two of you of wanting and desiring something Nine of Cups and it initiating and taking off. Like that desire present. Okay. So they will okay. And that might be why they can see you. I'm not trying to feed anybody's delulu about some famous person reaching out to you. I can't say, whatever, like, about that kind of stuff because shit like that happens all the time. There are famous people that get with regular people, and there's famous people that slide into DMs. But I'm just trying to make sure, like, there's other ways and scenarios that shit can happen. Okay, guys. But they initiate something tangible that allows you to either accept or deny. Because Two of Wands is like choosing to act towards something. So they may like Three of Pentacles can be about collaboration, but it could be for somebody where they're like, hey, you wanna da 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 like collaborate on something that would play out in social media. But I actually don't think that because that would require a very public, right? And so maybe you can do that and still keep things on the hush hush. I don't know, but I don't find that to be for most people that it's like a collaborative thing. I just think something very public like social media may be the medium in which they can reach out to you. When did the Chariot come out? Did I just like focus on all this other shit for so long that I didn't even realize this bitch has been sitting here the whole fucking time? This is gonna come together. As soon as it does, it moves fast. Once things come in alignment, shit's gonna move fast. I get a big yes. Again, I don't like once this happens, spirit is like, bitch, I know you gonna say yes. All they gotta do is just bring this into alignment and shit's just gonna pop off. Like, I don't know why they want to keep. I feel like they're a little gleeful about like, like you can't fuck this up because they know you so damn well. And once you feel this, shit's happening. Like it's gonna be success. It just feels like they already know it's gonna be success. Like I feel like they know at this point, motherfucker's gonna reach out. King of Wands is gonna do what the King of Wands does. Fucking take action. Bitch. Hello. Okay. No wonder he feels so penetrative and like, good God, when he enters your field, you're like, shit. Shit. Wow. Wow. Victory. There will be victory. I don't know who they think is gonna fucking watch this motherfucking thing. You have too many people who want instant gratification, and I get it because I'm kind of like that too. I've been begging to have shorter readings. This fucking took 2 hours, but it was so good the entire time. I'm like, I couldn't stop. Like, I'm hooked. Tell me more. All right, I gotta get off. Um, but please. All right. I hope you'll have a fantastic and wonderful day. Um, yeah. And I'll see you in the next read.